All right, thank you for everybody tuning in once again in the Durham Twins podcast, the two biggest haters in the world. I'm running with that, bro. I really do think that we are the two biggest haters in the world, and this is a special podcast we're going to try to have out. Well, we will have it out. Commemorative? What is it when you remember somebody? Commemorative?
Commemorative.
Yeah, commemorative podcast. Special podcast, in a sense, for our father and grandfather, the late, great Norman Remington. I have on his old 69 jacket. That was one of his numbers. Race teams. And our pops race suit. Kenneth Lewis Remington Sr. They both passed away on the same date, 3 years apart. And we just want to talk a little bit about some of the things and influences that they had on us. Just pay a little homage and then move on from there and just talk about what we got coming up and then how these influences affect us in our lives and moving forward in our decisions and what we do in our life. So yeah, Mr. Remington, what were some of the things that, you could start with Pops or Pa, with some of the things that stood out to you, that impacted you coming up, or that was everlasting, or some of the things that you learned, which was a lot of things for me, so I know could be a lot of things for you as well, as you're wearing his race suit. Could be anything. I know it's a lot.
Yeah. So, Daddy, when he we got older and he tried to whoop me, I get away from him. I run. He couldn't never catch me. And I say this to my boys now. I said, you can run, but you still got to come back home. You're going to have to go to sleep. They're going to get you. So you might as well get it now. So.
Tan that hide. Oh, yeah. So, if you don't or do know us, obviously we are of descent of the Caucasus Islands. Or mountains, sorry. We're not from the island. We are from the Caucasus Mountains. We are fair-skinned white people. And we grew up in the South. And we were into racing. Our family was. They kept us away from it. And now that I am where I am in my life, I totally understand why he didn't want us to race. But you know what we did anyway? We did the same thing, except it ain't racing. And it's so crazy. And we can kind of spin off of this little topic to Pa and some of the stuff that, both of them, my father and my grandfather, what they kind of put on us to be like, not be like, try to avoid certain things, and then try to make sure you have certain things in your life. So, but yeah, weekend warriors they were. They were fathers, obviously, like we are now, and they had a passion. They both had a passion. They were very passionate people, even though kind of our dad was the polar opposite of our grandfather, who was more leaning towards the control. It's almost like, if you do know us, I'm Norman, and this is Kenny Sr. Even though I'm the junior, here's Tasmanian Devil, and here's the Silver Fox. Facts. I'm a little reserved in the sense. I've heard stories about the days of my grandfather being a wild man, because he was a heavy gambler and drinker, and then he, stopped and got reserved and maybe lost his life a couple of times of being a little too willy-nilly. And you learn a lot when your life is on the line. I'm not too sure if Dad had any of those things happen with him, but he was balls to the wall to the end. And Pa, I never knew him in the sense of him being wild and crazy. He was always calm, steady. I'm not calm, steady, collected. But I feel more reserved in the comparisons that I guess of our personalities. But we definitely have the best of both in us, and I think it shows. But I think it is funny how they did not want us to get involved in racing. But we chase the camaraderie of what that is. Just like we played football or sports. What I got the most out of it, and even like in the military that I miss, is that camaraderie of being around a lot of people and sharing moments with, and working as a team, I guess. I don't know. Like, we all want a team, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But we all want to be the daggone... The driver or the crew chief, in my sense. I want to be the damn crew chief. And which was, my grandfather was the crew chief to my dad racing, because he brought him up in that. I'm wearing this jacket. My grandpa wasn't that big of a guy. I'm not that big, so but my father was a big guy. Yeah. Big Kenny, and I was a little Kenny. But he would always say, I should have been the junior. I should have been the junior. But anyway, I was born first. I'm the older brother. This is the younger brother of the Durham twins. We won't say our ages because we're going to still try to act like we in our whatever. But if you know us, you know how old we are. If you don't, once again, thank you for tuning in, either wherever you stand in this. And if you're just seeing it, go back, watch the other episodes, and check it out. This. My phone's on vibrate. You probably heard that. But it's okay. It don't matter. Because we're not here to impress anyone. We are here to share stories with each other and with you.
Best racetrack story.
Best racetrack. Oh, man. I got some, but I don't know if people would appreciate if I would say some of this. Now, this happened multiple times. Coming up into my pubescent years, if that's how you say it. Pubescent? When you're hitting puberty, that's which I hit puberty at like 9. I had a mustache. Anyway, some of the race car driver crew members' daughters or relatives, nieces, whatever might have you, they would always try to hook me up with some chicks. And I thought that was hilarious. Like, well, maybe not Pa, but he egged it on and would laugh.
Shit.
But Daddy and Vern and Benny and Tony, Lassiter, who else was it there? Those were like and Junior. They would egg me on to put me on and like they put me on some ugly ones too. And I would go with it because I was like, I ain't got no experience. And I was secretly in love with Vern's daughter for the longest, had the crush. But then after, whatever. Yeah. She broke my heart. I was probably 8. But anyway, but then I turned 9. And it's like, hey, look, you gonna get over that. We gonna get you out here. And it never really worked out until I was 13 years old. I basically was macking on one of the youngest drivers out there on his girlfriend while he was racing and qualifying or whatever. I don't even remember his name, bro. His last name was Snow. Justin Snow, you motherfucker.
Name drop.
Yeah. But I don't remember his girl's name, which was crazy. But anyway, so I got
in the pit.
In the pits, bro. Yeah. Oh, we was macking on the outside too. But when I got into the pits and they would take me over there, I remember they didn't put me on to her, but they egged me on once she was like talking to me or what. I don't even know how it happened, but I got her number. And I lied to her how old I was. I was 12. This girl was 17. I might have been younger than 12 because she's like, do you have your permit? I was like, nah. She's like, you ain't got your permit yet? I was like, oh, I just ain't do it yet. You know what I'm saying? It ain't important to me or whatever. She's like, so I got to come pick you up? I was like, I mean, yeah. I can have my daddy drop me off. She's like, click. Last I heard from her. But that was like a whole week process from like the race weekend to then during the week. And then we was going to hang out either before or after the race or something. And I ain't had no wheels. And then she was like, how old are you? And then I just told her I was 12. And she hung up.
Future advice. Don't tell them how old you are.
But
for the guys. You know?
But that kind of led me down all that egging on and whatever kind of led me down a crazy path. Because, I mean, I was always trying to chase the older women. Because I dated an 8th grader in 6th grade. And I was in the 8th grade dating a high schooler who is now my wife. But yeah, you know, to those that aren't familiar with that culture of, which it's all changing now, like it's kind of all mixed up and whatever. Not to say it was ours first, because we don't do that around here. But being from the Caucasus Mountains and the
Caucasian.
What?
We're not Caucasian.
What are we?
Caucasians are Italians.
No, let's save that for a whole. No.
We're Norwegian Englishmen.
I'm talking about before that, like before Rome, like where white people came from. But that's whatever. I don't really believe that, I guess, but I'm just using other words that other people put on us. But yes, we are white and from the South, and we like racing, Bojangles, and majority of them like Coors Light. I don't do it. I don't drink Coors Light. I don't know. Maybe not.
And we say man.
Man.
Hey.
And over there.
Over there.
And bring it back.
Up, down there. Take a left, right.
Yep. So that's just a small little story with the ladies of them putting me on that and trying to egg me on to be whatever. Cause apparently I was a pretty boy. What about you? It ain't gotta be with racing. It could be with,
what's this question?
or track stories.
Yeah, track story.
We used to fight.
Yeah, that was two of the stories.
Egged on by.
Yeah. God. Old buddy we were playing football, and old buddy kept
playing football with what? A can.
I think.
With a rock in it.
Yeah.
So it have a little weight to it, and you could throw it.
And old buddy kept picking on me. He was bigger than me, bro, and you weren't feeling that shit. And y'all ended up fighting over it.
I bet you was. I remember how old this dude was, because we were the same age. He was a little bit older than me, and he was 8. So I probably was like 7, and you were probably like 5, bro.
Yeah.
Rocking at 5 years old, bro. But this continued on, like, probably up until, I would say, like, 12-ish. And then we kind of got into other stuff, and they were like, you're not racing. We don't want you to take on this curse. Because it was a curse to them, because it's like a drug. It's a high. Just like what we're doing right now, which brings me back to that. We didn't do what they said. As far as... and it's almost like they was telling us not to race, like do something else, use your passions for something else, and we definitely did that. But it's the same struggle. And now that I look back at it and see the perseverance that they put towards of something that didn't seem like added any value to anything at that time. But now I see that it's like the value was the camaraderie and all that.
But that's not true though, because even though they don't know it, right? All right, the platform that is championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that shit's on my toolbox, his toolbox that is now my toolbox, stapled in. You know what I mean? Yeah. One of my most prized possessions. Because you know what I mean, he was the champion. And even if it was a lower league, higher league, semi-pro, pro football, whatever, when you win an award for being the best person in that,
yeah, it means a lot.
It means a lot, you know what I mean? And they put a lot of money into getting to that point, because that ain't no small feat and limited stock, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think anything you do on whatever level, and if you succeed at it, you're proud of that. And they were proud. And I think, and they were, my father was terrible for a long time. It wasn't that he couldn't drive, it's because we were poor. We were poor. Poor. But it's a thing where you bring everybody together with the same purpose to make it happen. They get sponsors, yada yada. But my pa was poor too, but he somehow was and it was almost about building that, like I said, that team and then getting people to believe in you, which both of them were legends in their own right. But I felt like, with Daddy, he was like trying to deal with that being under him or filling his shoes. But then once he finally got him a win, then a championship, and then the fool won like 9, I don't think it was straight, but in one season won 9 races out of 12. I was like, oh, we here now. We here. And that was a good time. But what they did, I don't think they did it to win or get plaques. It was like they just loved to expel that passion that they had, because obviously we know with Daddy, he loved to compete. He wrestled, he played football. What else did he do that he wanted to compete in? He got
wrestling titles and shit too.
Yeah, and obviously he would tell me this story. I could have went to college on a scholarship, but then you came along. I'm like, I didn't.
Say, man,
It
ain't my fault, huh?
I did not pull out. What the? That ain't my fault. I was minding my business. And then you let me go.
You rejected me into this world.
Yeah. But I would never take that the wrong way. And he would never say it in the sense like, it's your fault that I ain't, nah. But he would just say like, I put, I had dreams. I mean, he still had dreams even with us around to trying to like, oh, we're going to try to, I guess, would they not get a deal or get a ride? Like somebody come along like, hey, you're a good driver, which a lot of people did. And even to go back to my pa, like he actually raced in NASCAR when it was feasible to do that. Nowadays, you got to have 100 racks just for the car. And that don't count for the licensing and everything else to get there. Like, it's ridiculous. But back in the 70s...
It's $20,000 just for the fuel.
It's crazy.
Just a race for the fuel.
But that's on like the highest of high. But even the local stuff... It's like a 4 tires cost $1,000 for one race. That's crazy. But people would reuse old tires. We ain't gonna get all into that, but because we could talk about that, and that could be for the the people who know about that stuff. If you don't, but it's just like it costs to play, no matter what you're doing. Even this, what we're doing right now, like it's a couple $1,000s sitting right here just to do this. You know what I'm saying? And like this is our passion, and it's like. I don't really care if nothing comes from it. I just want to do it because somehow it's like ingrained into me. So that's why I kind of understand what they was doing, because it's like y'all ain't even doing nothing. But as I came to learn, like Pa like raced in NASCAR a few races at Martinsville, like qualified, because it would be 60 to 100 teams coming out there to qualify, and only 40 or 30, however many can make the race. 40. So. And he was one of them people that got in, and they would go there every year when they would go to Martinsville, because obviously you can't. The circuit at one point was mostly around in North Carolina, and then Martinsville's in Virginia. I don't remember what that other track was that don't exist no more, but neither here nor there. So my dad was in that mindset, like I'm next up. I'm gonna pick it up from where he left off, and then it don't really work like that. And it does in some cases, like, if people got money, but even with my pa doing what he did, they still didn't have money, and it was like, it was the passion and the talent that was driving it, and they just happened to build surroundings, and a lot of other people, like the other jacket I was going to wear, Lloyd, was one of the engine builders, and he would never charge them to build motors up front. He would just build it, give them the motor, and it was like, give me the money when you got it, because they believed in him and they messed with him and they just
Lloyd's
liked
still around?
Nah, I remember him passing away a while. It was a while ago. He was older than Pa when Daddy was racing towards the end.
He had a company though, right?
I can't remember what it's called, but Lloyd's Carburetors. He had like a shop, And his little saying was, for his motors, because people would have engines that would be like, wah, loud as hell, and they not going nowhere. And his little saying was, flying, not crying. Because they would say, oh, you hear that thing going around there, turn 4, that thing was crying, but I'll tell you what. But then you just qualified 15th. Mm-hmm. So, but his little motto was flying, not crying. And it didn't matter what the engine sounded like, it was fast. So, yeah. But then they eventually started putting people on their team who could do all this stuff in-house. Like Tony Lassiter built engines, along with Benny would build engines, and Paul obviously had his knowledge of doing. And, you know, that's kind of...
I got a book with all the numbers and specs for, like, the tire ratio.
Yeah, all them notes. They would keep notes.
The degree of what the car pitch should be sitting at and all that.
All that. So it was a science. I mean, it's just like, you know, with...
composing.
All that stuff, it's a science. And you got to learn the ins and outs and become a student of the game that you occupy yourself in.
Don't do it all, you shouldn't do it at all.
And that's what we kind of got from that indirectly, I would say. Because, I mean, nowadays it's like everybody has access to do everything. But back then I was impressed to just even their ability in the moment, too, of them to just bring people together to do something for one cause. That's what and I've been looking for that all my life, man, in my own situation. So, all you little assholes, sorry, look, I'm gonna keep that in there. But, hey, man, if you ain't here now, it's because I don't fuck with you, bro. Shit. Fucking with me, bro. But yeah, I'm trying to build a team. I'm trying to still get this asshole on my team. Here we are now. We on the team right now.
Yeah, about to that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, bro. Don't get mad, bro. Don't get mad. But
it's about what you bring to the table, man.
No,
that's why you said a certain someone, you don't even want to charge them. You want to do it. You just, because your passion is telling you, hey, this is a good song. We're a part of making
I wanted to build the engine and not charge them and let them go race. Mm-hmm. And when you got it, just look out for your boy, man. Ain't not one of you motherfuckers did that.
Even with beats and stuff like that. That's how it go. But you know, you can't force...
All right, I'm being negative. No, but we got a lot of...
You can't force situations on folk because sometimes people be paranoid. You know, they might be thinking that there's another
why?
Yeah. But because there's another end game, why he giving me like, he don't even mess with me like that. It's like, look, I ain't gotta like you personally.
Yeah.
I like your music. I like your... as you as an artist, and I want to work with you because I see potential in you as well. So, you know, people just be flabbergasted that you going to just give them something. And it ain't for nothing. Even though you ain't saying it ain't for nothing, it's just like, you know, later on down the road, and let's keep this work going because you going to bring business to me and I bring business to you type deal.
Yeah.
People don't work like a move like that. It's all got to be.
No, some people, I see people doing that. I see that. It's just hard. It's rare. So that's where I find myself in trying to reposition things, and then I even
they don't want to work with you. They want that 100% because they feel like you dipping in. Like I'd rather just pay you for your service. But it ain't the people you trying to mess with because you're not trying to provide a service. We ain't really trying to be not say legit business because there is copyrights and posts and all the other stuff behind it to be legit. But when it comes to working with other artists, we rather just say, hey, here go these beats. Let's record it over here. There's no charge here. So therefore, you can take what funds you would have spent on studio time, camera work,
and take it further.
Leasing the beat from the artists,
take it further
from other producers. All that right there can be put towards something else. You know, it's just.
I think that scares people, like you said, they don't know what. And even if you was to put it on paperwork, it would still be some type of. Not animosity, I don't know, but some type of just, I don't know. But that's just because we ain't found ourselves in the situation to even, I would say, do that or try to work it towards that. And that's why I always tell you, man, that we have the ability to just do all these things for ourselves or for something that we're trying to move forward. And here we are today doing that. And if you don't know, this is a producer. He makes beats. He also writes. He's a writer, an artiste with the pen, pencil. maybe, hopefully, he talking about he need a stylist. If I had a stylist, I would not a stylist, but like a little draw thing style. I'll be killing it. You can kill it without a stylist, bro. Yeah. So now we move into our next little chunk of things for advice for each other. I got this, yeah. But I just want to remind y'all, we're in the field of, well, I guess what they call it now is content creation. Like, music is content, kind of, or in the multimedia world. I'll just have to reiterate this over and over again in each little episode. But that's what we do. So if you're on this channel watching this video, go take a look back at some of the stuff, and you'll see it in the related boxes underneath this video of BX Baby Mane or Polyphase or Alana Falera or from OZ to Hitmaker, or what else would fall in that little sub to whatever. Anything Polyphase related, because we've kind of been building that, which was the racing team name of my father. I don't even remember what that was, but like how they came up with that. But I remember everybody coming up with a name, and I don't remember who all came up with that. But it was a group thing, and Polyphase. So we're carrying that name, keeping it alive today. And for what it means, I was like, I gotta use this, because I was trying to find a company name, and I didn't want to be gimmicky sounding, but poly, multiple levels of things happening at once. So we do podcasts, vlogs, reviews, shoot videos, make beats, record, mix, master, do cover artwork, and
one-stop shop.
One-stop shop. I mean, it goes outside of multimedia. Like, we just do a bunch of things, jack of all trades and master of it all. Don't let them fool you about that saying, that jack of all trades, master of none. Because when you become jack of all trades, you become a master of yourself, of your mind, I believe. But with that being said, I think why I put this in there as far as giving advice to each other, we're about to hit 30 minutes, bro. I kind of let this get away from me. I wanted to make this one short. And I know you do, but you play around a little bit too much, like telling me and giving me advice. And I try to give you some advice. We might as well put this on record and be for reals. And then we can try to see what advice that we could give others of things we see out there in the world of, knowledge that we have. Because the advice that was given to us coming up, from our peers and our grandfather and our father made us, who we are today. And then now we're here, we ain't got nobody to give us advice no more, bro. So all we got is me and you, buddy. Because these bro, hey, you watching this and I mess with you, just tell me something. Somebody said I'm too emotional. Am I too emotional, bro? You're emotional.
That's compassion.
I'm emotional. I know I'm emotional. Passion. I mean, yeah, we was just talking about being passionate.
Yeah, ain't no wrong with that.
But
motherfucker ain't emotional. He ain't got nothing damn to drive him. That's what that is.
Yeah.
But we ain't got to address no dumb.
Yeah. You want to go first though, or you want me to go
advice
first?
For you? No, I want you to go first. I'm gonna be hard on you.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep this small and to the point. Cause all right, so what I do for myself, and I wanted to kind of say this for advice for other people, and this is easy. Write it down, man. Make a list, a visual list.
I agree.
Out in the open. Cause you got a lot of stuff you kind of dabbling in, and you get to it. But I think what would help you,
that's crazy,
get to it better and be more efficient.
That's crazy.
And organized. Is write it down, then so you can visually see it, and then you can more clearly come up with a plan of action to attack it, and then achieve it, and then move on to the next thing. Because nobody just has one goal or one objective or one, hey, I gotta go do the dishes. No, bro, we got to do the dishes. We got to take out the trash. We got to feed the family. We got to go to work tomorrow.
Routine and
I got to make a beat tonight.
Routine as well.
Yeah, and have a schedule.
Yeah. That's funny you say that, because I took both boards from Brendan and Evan. They don't use them.
Nah, you got to make them use it too.
Right, but Dog, that's crazy. Just 2 days ago, I wrote down in what order as well. First, the other one was like a web and bubbles and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get better at that.
But the second one was the actual timeline of what I'm gonna do. So it was like van, truck, boom, boom, boom. And what driven that was Angelo, my supervisor, right? Angelo, my supervisor, said, he was on the phone with this woman. He says, "Hey, I know you say you just send the photos over, but give me a deadline because I work better with. Give me a time frame you need those by because I'm better with deadlines." And that it sunk in. And then I talked to Lorraine. I was like, "Man, I'm all over. Like you said, I got boom, 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 van. The kitchen need to be done.
Yeah,
you know, all
just
tools.
seeing it, taking it as you get it, and then write it down.
Documentation beats conversation.
There you go. So what you think for me? Go ahead, go in on me, bro.
Man, stop fucking overreacting, bro.
So that's me being emotional.
No, it's not emotional. That's second guessing. You overreacting, you second guessing something. Like you would pivot in the conversation, just like, all right, you say write it all down. Motherfucker, you done sat there and said everything out to yourself and have combated yourself with second line stories that hasn't even happened yet because you already second guessed it before you even started. Therefore, you won't even go certain routes because you know what I mean? You already second guessing the stuff. If you come up with something, stick to that. Even if until it fail or until you feel like even with persistence you ain't gonna break through. You just second guess a lot.
Second guessing.
More like, all right, dig deeper.
Give me an
explanation yourself.
Give me an explanation. Give me an explanation or something, an instance that happened already.
All right.
Then, yeah. Or anything. It ain't got to have to do with nothing. It could just be anything.
If you want to do it, do it. You whine more than anybody about what need to be fucking done. You fucking do it.
Ooh-wee. All right, moving on. No, you right.
Just do it.
You right.
Just knock that bitch, man.
And that's what I feel like I'm kind of.
You got me talking regular now about the cuss at you.
But see, I gotta learn how to organize that in my head because
that's the problem.
But I think with the second guessing,
you know what Mama said about you? She said, "Can you do that to you too?" I was like, "Yeah, he does that to me." You'll have a conversation in your head, and it's actually a skill. You'll have a conversation in your head with somebody before you even talk to them, and you think you already told them.
Oh man, I do that. People are like, what are you talking about?
You didn't tell it.
And I should write that down.
I do that with Lorraine all the time. I swore I told you. But I was like, hey.
It's just in your head with it.
I just thought we was kinetic and we were.
Nah. You done went through it in your head so many times it didn't feel like you done.
Yeah, because you moved on because that's the ADHD that you ain't tapped into yet.
All right. Moving on. So, advice for others. Some of the things that you have mastered, maybe, and that you would like to share to the world that might work for you, that you think will work for other people. It could have to do with anything. Really.
What I've mastered?
I mean, just like, say, like.
10,000 hours in talk, or are you talking about just like characteristics?
Something that works for you. Like I just said, like what works for me, because I just feel like because I realize that probably will work for you is writing stuff down. Like what you think.
Research, man. I back in the day, I was so like I don't want to learn nothing no way, but I was so hell bent on that. What is this information? This is useless. Yeah. Like math, like well, I'm not gonna use this in the real world. Like, dog, yes, the fuck you is, man. Like, some of that stuff matter more than most, especially if you want to extend your career and master something. You had to put 10,000 hours into anything to become professional or top grade, granddaddy then, all that other stuff. But I guarantee you, and about 80% of professions out there has a high level of math. So, with that being said, research, man. Like I've read and learned and reviewed videos the most I have in my whole life since.
Oh yeah, it's there because it's there now, bro. I mean, it's been there for a little bit, but now more than ever, nobody has no excuse not to know something.
Yeah,
I know artists right now don't even know how to put their video out on YouTube. I'm like, bro,
you know what's crazy? When you told me some more artists needed you to. You know what?
Nah, say it. We ain't gotta use no names, but
dog, you can't load a image, bro, to Instagram. What was it? It was something about he needed you to log into his account to upload it because the file was too big to send through email, and he ain't know how to work that whole situation.
But no, my thing is, cause I make cause some people like.
I hate to laugh though because it ain't you know what I mean. It ain't your fault you won't talk. You know what I mean. But
yeah,
but at the same time,
you know what you got to do.
If you're gonna get engaged in stuff, you should want to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you want to engage into something and take it serious, then you should want to learn the process. You might not want to master the process, but you gotta have some kind of idea how it works. Like, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people want people to do stuff for them. A lot. Like I hear people say, I just like with the team thing, like I want to build a team, not because I want people to do stuff for me. It's more so as like I want equals around me, so we're all doing not the same amount. I don't know, but it's not to do stuff for me, but for the cause that we all share. You know what I'm saying?
What was Vern's job?
Vern?
Yeah, what did Vern do?
Bruh, he was just a money man, really, to be honest.
Who pulled the tires off when the car pulled up? That was Larry or was
me and Lil Larry, yeah, and Tony's son.
You got to have a Lil Larry and Lil Kenny pulling the tires off.
Yeah, I get that, but that's for coming up Evan and Brennan. Like if I was to be you know what I'm saying? That's for just when you coming in, but these
you need a Benny that's coming with some knowledge and some money.
Yeah, it does. So that's yeah, you're right. Because what I'm looking for and don't exist a bunch of equals around. Because a lot of it, man, that's what I'm tired of just being. This sound narcissistic as hell, bro. But I want to not be the smartest person in the room all the goddamn time, bro.
Somebody gotta lead. Somebody gotta follow.
That's true. And not saying I'm the smartest, but it's like.
Well, see, you know what?
I don't want to have to ask certain things, bro. I just want you to do it because you know that what you need to do, bro. Like I don't want to have to hold people's hands, and that's on some partnership stuff. And you know, I know artists are artists, and they want to do this. But I just hear people say that I want a team, so I don't have to worry about this. No, bro, you gonna have to worry about all of this stuff for the rest of your career. But we could talk about that forever. So I would say,
yeah, a self-governed system. Don't work. It don't work. Everywhere. Everybody's self-governed.
And that's where I'm at, bro. I have no accountability outside of myself, bro. And it's hard. I mean, my wife holds me accountable for. She's not professional, she does, but she ain't like.
What you saying is, there's another cameraman coming like, damn, you should have, could have, would have. On the video, you be like, hey.
Yeah.
It's out of my control.
Yeah, and I've had people say that to me, but then that's like, I be like, bro, where you have no grounds to say what you saying. But yeah, I don't know. Man. My advice would be to people out there or anybody doing anything, and it goes along with writing stuff down, is organization will save your life, son. I mean, and everything ain't got to be perfect. But if somehow you got some type of, all right, now scratch organization, schedule, just a schedule, because we harp on this with, you know, with it's gonna be both our kids. With my son, if his schedule is shifted out any bit, it's like all hell breaks loose. And I realized, like, dang, like that kind of translate into my life, like how I operate is like, it just like you said with a deadline, like having a deadline or just having a schedule, like, hey, this has to be done by this time, even if it ain't by that time, but I know by this time this is happening, let's get this done by Friday, boom, boom, boom. Like, but that goes into organization, time management, all that stuff kind of is a one thing deal, and it's hard because I'm still finding the perfect way of what to do. Jefferson Scott, this fool had this thing where he said, I'm gonna have accountability for each second of my day, and he's gonna write it down, bro. He about drove himself crazy, bro. He's like, yeah, that don't work. Like he literally had, because he was a truck driver, so you got to have your shit planned out.
It's called Gantt shit, yeah.
But for everything he did, like, hey, bro, I'm about to eat. I got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And if he finished, he'd be like, all right, now I got extra 5. So now I could spread this 5 out over the next hour to whatever to add. I don't even know how that would work, but he literally drove himself crazy. But that fool was moving efficient in a mug for like a month straight. But it's hard, but not to that degree. So, to each his own. You know, not everything's for everybody or works for everybody, but definitely you should research it to see how you can fine tune or what you need to do to make things better or easier on yourself. Maybe before that, write it down so you know what to research and then get organized and do it. Oh my God, we about to write a self-help book. Hell yeah, that's what we doing next.
All right. Give me an artist, not personal, or an artist out there you think that's doing something the right way, and also an artist that's doing something the wrong way.
Bruh, Northside Rocky, bruh. I'm gonna do a Remy review on that, man. And I mean, like the baby. When I moved to Charlotte in 2014, he was just on his like, hey, I just did 2 videos back to back. You go look back from 2014 to now, this dude ain't. If you go back to his YouTube, he put something out every month for the past. I'm bad at math. Talking about math, I can't divide for
12.
shit. 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 7 years, bro. 7 years. And I remember when he first got signed, it was like, oh man, like everybody was thinking they gonna be next. Like, bro, no, bro. Like, I mean, we already talked about his artists, and yeah, they at a certain level, but they still got a few more years to just keep going to where either they gonna sustain it or they out of here.
Yeah, because it ain't up to you whether you gonna break or not. It's whether what song you put out there is gonna determine that. That
too, but you still gotta be on a consistent basis to where you get to that song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta put out a whatever. Yeah. But he was so consistent to where by the time he was signed, he was already 4 years consistent.
So what about Northside? What you saying?
So Northside's on that, like OZ's on that trajectory. Right. OZ's in that third, like if this year he stays on that trajectory, he might find that song that's gonna take him out of here. I think Northside just hit that, but in a less amount of time. You know why? Because he got management already. This man produces some of his beats. I know he plays the piano. Like he's a producer. He shoots his own videos. If y'all, I don't know if that's not, but y'all know that Northside, the director. And what else? He does a bunch of other stuff. Engineers his own. I mean, there's other people helping. Like, you know, eventually you're gonna come in and be like, all right, this person's gonna help with the visuals, but he's got the overall image or vision to create those images of whatever he's trying to do, and he's been consistently doing. He's probably on his 3rd year as well. I mean, both of these artists been doing it before them, but when I say they started taking it serious and then constantly pushing it out there, like Northside done put out in the past year 12 visuals. I don't know, let's just say 8, and then once he got management, it was over. Now he got songs on Power. When that songs got picked up, and that's publishing, somebody got the plug in on there. But you have to have that somebody to be able to go to bat for you for that stuff, bro. Yeah. Cause nobody gonna be like, you just nah, bro. You gotta already show I'm willing to put my neck out to invest my time so we can get some money. Yeah. Just like we were talking about before. But Northside doing it. And if somebody that ain't to where it's a shame, I don't want to do that, bro. I would say everybody else. Anybody else is doing you ain't Northside, bro, then you ain't doing it right. Sorry. I mean, even with bro, like with OZ, he's now turning, and he was doing when he was with Harvey J. If he would have stayed on it, I mean, he's probably been not as consistent, but if he was consistent as he is in this pocket he's in now, all the way to now, it would have been happened. And not to say that's why it ain't happened, life happens or whatever, but the platform he has now is from being consistent and then going hard as he was going from then to now. And he's got a hell of a bigger, I would say, I guess, audience than Northside at this point.
Well, then,
And we talking about what we talking about? We was going on A, B, C, D level rapper. Like A would be A would be the baby. A would be the baby. B would be Stunner for Vegas. Let's just say that. Let's say a C would be Rich Dunk.
then D
And
would
then
be
D would be
704 Chop.
Yeah, let's just say 704 Chop. In that sense of like all these cats was on $1 Billion Baby Entertainment, not 704 Chop no more. But 704 Chop realizing that he gotta get out there and do it. Like nobody gonna, and if you wanted somebody to do it for you, you gonna feel a little light in your pockets.
Yeah.
But they doing it for you, not for you, but with you. That's a whole nother conversation too. Like Russ saying, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so I would say, and then Northside and OZ are right there on that cusp of breaking into that, or on the same level as 704 Chop. Because I mean, it's one thing. Look, it's one thing that he can have that IG presence. Maybe OZ or Northside don't have the IG presence, but guess what's going on Spotify and YouTube?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Chop put out a video. Yeah, it's gonna get a little bit more numbers, but it's like it's so sporadic and spread out and not consistent. You know what I'm saying? But he dealing with it. Just imagine. I could only imagine, bro. So I would say A, B, C, D is Chop, and Northside OZ, and the E breaking into
You ask me when people say they dealing with something, dog, you always gonna deal with something, man. Because look, listen now. My best music, and this what writer block is when you ain't got nothing to talk about.
Oh man.
If you ain't got nothing to talk, if you ain't out there living life and doing shit or going through shit or whatever, you ain't gonna have nothing to write about, nothing to talk about. That's the best music. To me, that's best music. When me and Eric, anytime something happen in the house, at work, whatever, I'm gonna put a bar to it, you know. Or and sometimes it might not be good, but that goes with a whole nother step of writing and shit. But dog, no matter tomorrow's another day.
That's right.
And some people ain't got that tomorrow to have another chance to fix things that they ain't fixed yet. So
amen.
It is what
brother.
it is, you know. But when it comes to art aspect, they need to use that, man. They need to use that because that's the best stuff.
That's when you should bite down even harder. Yeah.
How you want to wrap it up?
I ain't want to get you. Yeah, we kind of skipped over two other little topics because we gonna go back to what. Yeah, before.
Advice for artists. Last thing. Yeah,
go ahead.
Touching me the whole time. OZ. Use my beats, bro. It's time to get on some intricate beats, bro.
Nah, bro. Hey, it's gonna happen, bro. Everything's in due time, man. You see, this man, he just wanna really.
Get on my beats, bro.
Hey, it'll come.
Before I had to.
You want him? You see, he gonna get on it. He gonna get on and then use your beats, and then you gonna be like, yeah, perfect time. But then if he used your beats and then got on and ain't never fuck with you again, you'd be mad. You'd be like, yeah, bro, I was working with OZ.
I wouldn't even care if that happened. I wouldn't have cared if
I'm just saying if it did. I'm saying if it did.
I'd just be glad, you know, I helped.
How many beats you done send out to people? Just in general, like not artists, but beats that you like, hey, bro, here, bro. Do something with that. How many beats?
All right, watch this.
I know I done got about 150 in the past year.
Well, cause I. All right. So, not everybody's gonna like what I send them, and I can't send everything to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm already promising to them, and the only bad thing about this is, is that they don't tell me that. Ox Omega is the only one that tells me this ain't it. Yeah. And I keep sending them. If you don't say nothing, I can't. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, how do you adjust?
I can't. I'm not gonna send more because I don't know if you used them.
Yeah, well, see, that's why.
And then I can't send them beats to another person.
That's why I wanted to put them out. So then it's like, hey, bro, but now I didn't realize this because it's out on YouTube. And what's crazy about this is people use YouTube beats, but then because I had put it out on Spotify, put your beats out on Spotify, iTunes, and on YouTube, they don't want to use it. What the fuck sense does that make? But you'll go rip a YouTube beat and use it? Bitch, what? Nah, look, hey man, come holler at me, man. Artist management, we'll get you right. We got it all. Yeah. Yeah. Some white guys that'll do it. That's how the game work, don't it? But we